Hello friends. So my Zoom friends, I'm on YouTube. Please don't play music, thanks. Right, so today I caught GJ shorts, longs, and now I'm actually in a go long. So all these trades were actually called out on my TradingView page. So if you guys want to follow, I post the analysis daily in the morning my time, so sometime during Asian session. So maybe you guys can get a few tips on how I caught the entry and how I did the top down analysis on this one. So if you have questions, just pop them in the stream, then I'll try to help you guys along. So this thing, I'll post it on my IGTV later on, and yeah, let me know if you all have questions. So firstly, I'll explain why I took the shots. That was the first trade for today, so I'll just put it on the screen. So took GJ shots, first trade GJ longs, and now I'm in the third trade on go longs. Right, so basically I trade support and resistance. So the pink boxes that you see on the screen, right, they are supply zones, so aka sell zones. Green boxes are buy zones, or what you can call demand zones. So they are different from support and resistance. Don't mix them up. I don't trade support and resistance anymore, because for support and resistance there's a very high chance that you'll get faked out first and stopped out before the move comes, and then yeah, you're not in it. So let's see. So on the shorts, right, the reason why I was looking for shorts down was because if we look at this area here, we see this big bullish move here on the daily. It broke all these highs. So for me, usually what I do is once it breaks structure like this, right, so I think some of you that follow me on Instagram always see me put like BOS on my chart. So BOS just stands for break of structure. So every time there's a break of structure, I want to see where the move started. So for me, this area here on the daily, this is my daily demand zone. So on the higher time frame, I know that price is just slowly going to trade towards this demand zone, and that's exactly what it's been doing the past like 2 weeks. So because it's a daily time frame, obviously the pullback is going to take some time. It's not going to be like one swift move down. So therefore today, when I came to the charts in the morning, what I saw was this. So I saw on the 1 hour, again, I just put up the demand zone, the supply zone here, because this was the low on the 1 hour chart. I'm expecting price to come down into this area on the daily, right? So I'm going to trade towards it. So when I see the breakout structure, I'll look for this start of the move. So this was my 1 hour zone. So as long as price remains below this green 50% line, so as we headed into London session, I saw that price was actually rejecting and closing below this green line. So that's when I took my entry. Stop loss is above. And where is the TP? Is just basically this demand zone on the 1 hour that broke structure. And that's exactly where it tapped into. So if we look at it and play price out, boom, done. This was the move that, and how I caught the entry. So those that are wondering what the confirmations are, they are just price action confirmations. Once price rejects this area, creates a lower high, fails to break this high, there's an entry shot there already, because the trend has changed. So yeah, this was the short trade down. The next one was on the long. So again, because I know that this area here is my supply zone, is my demand zone, which is my buy area, I'm looking for buys in this area, right? So when I went down to the 1 hour, I saw that price first made its 1 hour rejection into this area here. So at this point in time, if I'm looking at the 1 hour, I don't really have information on it. So I also know another criteria of mine is I need to see that price does not close below 50% of my zone. So why? It's just at every supply and demand zone, the 50% level is where most of the orders are at. It's just that. So when price failed to close below on the 1 hour. I then dropped down to the 15. The next one made a higher low, and then that's when I took the entry long. Stop loss is just below this area. So again, we're trading this to go up towards one of these zones over here on the hourly. So I was aiming for just this demand, this supply zone over here at 850, and then it tapped, and I think it's actually higher now. So I closed off the entire trade already, but ideally their price is trying to go into 155,500. So yeah, that's how I took the shorts and the longs on this one. So on gold, overall the trend on gold, right, for me is bullish. Like whoever is trying to say it's bearish, I don't know what you're seeing, but it's bullish. It's just same thing. It's trying to make a higher time frame retracement, and then it's trying to get into, let me just clear away some of these zones. It's trying to come down into this daily area over here. So let me find my box here. So when price does a break of structure here, pushed up, this is the start of the move. So price will do a pullback into a daily area to continue higher. So price is definitely bullish on gold. This is just a temporary pullback. Hey blue chip, what's up? So when we headed into this area over here, the long position was taken on the 1 hour zone. So I have to mark it up here for you guys. So we noticed that price broke all the structures up, and I was waiting for buys at this area. The reason why I didn't sell it all the way down here was because there's no clean area for me to sell. So yeah, I'm just not really going to chase this move. So if I'm taking this long, right, my TP is going to be at 1900. So I rather wait for this long move, because if we look at the 4 hour, there's a very clean area here to be filled. So again, if you look at the 1 hour structure, price broke above, has been trading above all these areas here, has not come back to test the original move that started that break. So right now it's there. Again, if I were to zoom into this area, right, notice how on the 1 hour, the bearish candle did not close below the 50%. Second thing, the 4 hour also did not close below the 50%. So the moment it flipped bullish on the next candle, right, since this was my buy area, I took the longs. So stop loss is just below that previous week low. So yeah, that's how I've been taking my trades. Questions? How do I distinguish between supply and demand and support and resistance? Supply and demand usually starts after, you can spot it when price has made a very big impulsive move down. So moves like, so my criteria to draw up a supply and demand zone is big impulsive move. So this big candle breaking structure. So this structure here broke. This is the start of the move. This is a supply zone. It's not a support. Support is when price has tested multiple times and stopped there. So support is lagging. That is just my opinion. I don't know whether it's right, but it's just how I view the differences. So this area here is clear support, right? And that's why I also said that support and resistance tends to have a lot of fake outs. And this is the fake out that happened to those people that were taking longs from this area on Friday. So the fake out happened, and then the real move started after the fake out happened. Because whenever there are equal lows, buyers who trade support and resistance will buy above and stop loss below. People who trade supply and demand will wait in their demand zone, and that is when you grab liquidity from all the stop losses that are sitting here. So if you want to call it order blocks, whatever, it doesn't really matter to me. I call them supply and demand zones. It's the same thing, to be very honest. Yeah. So that's the difference between support and resistance. Support and resistance forms after multiple tests. Only then can you see it form. Supply and demand forms beforehand, after a very big impulsive move. So to spot them, You just have to wait and watch for a break of structure. So like in this case, impulsive move, did it break structure? Yes, it broke all these highs here. Where did it start? This bearish candle here. That's about it. So confirmations, you can look at price action to create higher lows in a buy area, or you want to wait for a lower time frame break and retest on a 1 minute, 5 minute, your choice. So let's see. Do I look at the 1 minute time frame for buys after looking at the 4 hour zone? No, I don't need to. Because I mean I can, but the reason why I don't look at the 1 minute is because sometimes I realize it can give me fake moves and then I get faked out because I trade on the 1 minute. Previously, I was trading on the 1 minute, then I would have entered on this one creating higher lows, and then after that, this nonsense would have stopped me out. So I slowed down my trades. I started to look at the 5 and above. And that's when I got better confirmations to take the trade. Yes, my stop loss is not as tiny as the 1 minute entries, but it doesn't really bother me because I don't sit in drawdown very long. I would rather do that than to take an L and then take a win after that. It will affect my win rate. Let's see. Do I choose my zone based on daily or 4 hour? I draw up the daily, 4 hour, weekly zones first. So those will be my target areas. Then I zoom into the 1 hour and then I refine them using the 50% and I enter off the 1 hour. So the 4 hour, daily and weekly zones are still there. I just hit them because if not my charts will be very messy. Yeah, but those are targets on the higher time frame. And usually for daily and weekly zones, right, they usually tend to line up with lower time frame zones. So if you can see this big giant box below, this is the daily, and look at the 1 hour, it's just sitting right above it. So same thing, is just how big you want your stop loss to be. But again, is back to what I used to say last time. The higher the time frame, the stronger the zone. So if you don't really need to refine it, then just leave it. The 1 hour is usually enough, especially on gold. Because for gold, if you refine it too much, I've learned, like if I refine it on the 15, right, sometimes I miss the trade because the zones are too tight already. Because gold is quite volatile. Please analyze GU. Nah, I'm just here to like do a trade recap. I'm not here to do analysis and to answer those people's questions. And I don't trade GU anyway. Yeah. So GU is not nice, honestly. If I just do a quick look at this, right, this is gross because there is zero break of structure. So it's just playing in between. There's no clear zones for me to trade off. I wouldn't touch it. That's my personal opinion. My favorite pair? I only trade 2 pairs, GJ and Go. That's enough, to be very honest. The longs gave me 5R. The shorts gave me let's see, gave me about 5R also. I take them at around 0.5% risk, so that's like 5 divided by 2, 2.5 times 2, 5R already. That's a 5% return, so it's enough for me. Am I taking partials on Go? Okay, so on Go, right, I noticed that there is this area here on the hourly. Let me just hide this. So on the hourly here, I have this 1 hour supply zone marked up. So as price comes into this area here, I'll start to see if price goes in on the hourly or the 15-minute and starts to create lower highs, right, then I might secure some and then throw my stop loss a bit tighter. So right now on this trade, my stop loss is actually sitting at right now it's below this area. Let me just put it up. Yeah, so far it's here. So I haven't trailed it yet, but it has already broken this high on the 15, and it has also closed strong above this high. So yeah, I probably can start to trail it, and if I do, I'll probably trail it when there's some proper like structure that forms. Right now, so far I don't really see it. So TP1, probably I'm looking at around 1876 level. I use break of trend line as well. No, I don't have any trend lines because I'm of the view that trend lines are very subjective. There are various ways to draw it. So there's no one fixed way, there's no one right way. But for supply and demand zones, there is usually only one or two correct ways to draw it. So I know some people will draw their supply and demand zones from body to wick or something like that, right? But for me, I draw my supply and demand zones. Just basically, I look, if this is a down move, for price to come, hang on. So for price to come down, it needs to make an up move first before it can come down, right? So I'm looking for that up move. So in this case, this is the entire up move here. So that's how I'll draw up my zone on the hourly. That's about it. So I would rather have a bigger zone so it's easier for price to come inside. Then I'll start to watch inside the zone for my confirmations. So that's why I don't really drop down to like the lower time frame and then refine until it's like a 1 minute zone. Nah. I know there are traders that do that, then they get like super sick sniper entries, but they don't tell you that how many times they lost before the trade actually went their way. So take it with a pinch of salt. If I'm already profitable, how long did I take? I honestly don't know. I only know that I've been trading for 7 years. But I don't really like to answer this question because I feel like people will use it as a benchmark and you shouldn't, because everyone has their own trajectory of becoming profitable and everyone has their own learning speed. So I've been trading for 7 years. Obviously I could have been profitable way earlier than that, but I wasn't. How do I know if price has broken structure? For me, a break of structure has to be a clean and strong close. So if price does like, let me find the break of structure. Okay, example, we can all agree this is a high, right? This is a strong close break of structure, simple as that, on the 1 hour time frame. So if you have a wimpy candle that just does like rejects with a wick, then yeah, don't take that trade, man. So like for example, if you view that this is the high here, then you are looking at this area here as a break of structure, right? If you notice my orange line, to me, these kind of candles, they are very weak breaks of structure, which is why price did not continue higher, and instead it started to come back in lower and lower and lower after that. So a break of structure has to be a strong big candle like this, then it's considered. So weak rejections are not counted. Do I have a schedule now for this trade recap? Yeah, I don't take trades every day, so I really cannot say when when I'll do the trade recap, but I'll try. It's gonna be quite ad hoc, to be very honest. I don't have a schedule because nowadays the reason why I also stopped the live stream is because I don't trade so often. Like if you, the guys in the Zoom with me, right, we waited for this like really long. So yeah, if I do have a stream, I'll try to do a premiere on my page. So if you guys go onto my YouTube page, right, I believe you should be able to put on the bell. Yeah, it's not a, I'm not trying to ask for like subscribers or whatever, but that's really the only way I can inform you that I'm trying to do like a recap for that day itself, because it depends on whether I have a trade or not. So the reason why I don't really want to do like weekly recaps, because it takes me damn long to edit the video. So I think this is a bit better. Let me see. Gold sells in the 1 minute time frame. I'm in longs, and I'm expecting longs to go all the way to 1900. So I'm not gonna sell a lower time frame supply and demand. So it depends on how you want to manage your trade. Obviously you can trade it because it depends on where you want your TP to be, right? But if I'm aiming for 1900, like all these minor pullbacks don't really bother me. Like I'm just gonna let price do whatever it wants to do. I won't chase the smaller moves. I entered the gold trades on the 5 actually, because so the entry was but okay, I'll tell you what I saw first and what made me go down to the 5. So again, I saw multiple wick rejections to the area and none of the 15-minute candles were closing. So we were looking at 2 time frames. One is this particular candle here. This 15-minute candle, once it flipped bullish, right, that was the entry long. But if you look at the 5-minute, it did the same thing also. So on the 5-minute, price didn't close, faked out, and bullish engulfing closed back above the 50% level, which is the green line. So the moment it flipped bullish for me, I took my entry on the 5 based on this candle. But 5 or 15 is the same idea. It's basically looking at price respecting this 50% level and then making higher lows after that. This is the change of structure that you want to see after a very, very big bearish move like this. So I know some people will be like, what the hell, man? Why are you selling such a big bearish move down? But it is what it is. A demand zone is just there. So when price comes into it with proper confirmations, not breaking 50% of the level, why not take it? The stop loss is not very big. Yep. So yes, any other questions? If not, then I'm gonna pop off. Yeah, I think this should be quite clear. I think we took it based on the 30-minute high breaking. Yeah, okay. I think it's this one here, right? This break of high here. And your stop loss is probably below the wick, right? I guess nothing wrong with that. It's the same thing. Just where you want to get your entries and how you see your confirmations. And the 1-minute candle affect the break of structure, then fake out. Yes. Fake outs are very often on the 1-minute. So for example, now you see on gold, right? It's breaking this support here. So if you are of the view that gold is coming down to test this area before going up again, then yeah, when you wait for this supply zone to test before it comes down. But why? I mean, it's not wrong to take this trade, but you just gotta wait for confirmations here. So if you're in longs, then just ride the wave up. If it pulls back down, you can trade up, down, but do you really need that many trades? The problem with the 1-minute for me is I had a lot of trades and I just didn't want to trade so many times. I rather take a trade that goes easily for me with almost no drawdown once I enter, rather than taking the 1-minute and then after it stops me out and I have to wait for another entry, because I find sometimes the second entry is tougher for me to enter because like I took a loss already. The second one is just obviously I'm not going to be as confident in the area, so I rather not. So if those of you that miss the gold buys, right, if this thing pulls back, I'm watching for, let me see, yeah, it's gonna come back. Like price, okay, price will not just bounce off nothing. So if I look at this now here, right, on the left, just on the 5, there's nothing here on the left that will stop my trade from going up. There's no supply zone here that is valid, because on these areas here, okay, so let's just look at this area here. Some of you might say this is a break of structure, right? But it already got tested. Done. This zone is done. The next one, some of you might say, how about this zone here? Then again, you can wait higher at these areas here, but again on the 5 minute, they are very weak areas. They might just break. So I would rather wait for the 1 hour area. And plus, if you look at price action, right, it is still forming higher lows. Even though this candle came down bearish, it is not breaking the low. So just give it time. Price cannot go straight through like a rocket. It's not Bitcoin. Will I add more? No, I haven't closed my partials yet, but I'm trailing my stop loss. So sometimes if I can't really see, I try not to go too low on the time frames because the zones are not very solid. So for example, if I really wanted to be an aggressive 50s trade, yes, I can trail it below here because this zone here on the 1 minute, right, it broke this area here, correct? So this is a strong break of structure of this high, strong close. So this was the move that started this break of structure, right? So I can trail my stop loss here since there's really nothing for me to look at on the 515 or whatever. So I could if I wanted to, and that's also valid. But I haven't secured anything. My first area I'm looking to secure probably 1876, which is a 1 hour supply zone. So yeah. Will I add more positions? It depends on what time it is. So today I'm basically done already. I'm not trading anymore. I took 3 trades. I think that's enough. Like, if tomorrow, we'll see how it goes tomorrow. But I will usually only add positions if I'm at BE on the first trade. If not, I will not add positions because then I increase my risk. So yeah, that's my management. Because like on GJ shorts, right, I actually added on positions because previously I was actually in short from this area here, the previous day short, if I can find it here. So I was in my original shorts here on the previous day, I think on Friday, I think. Yeah, I was holding it over the weekend. So same thing, I held it, it came back up, retested, held this 1 hour zone. So I just re-entered, but my first trade was already locked in profit. Same area of targets. So that's how I scaled into the position. But I won't scale in on the low. I will always look for a break of structure and enter only on the retest. Because don't sell low, just sell at the highest place possible. Use the 10-minute candle, it's nice to match with 30. I actually don't use the 30-minute at all because 30-minute and 1 hour zone, 1 hour price action looks the same to me. So I stopped using the 30. I think I never used for like quite long already, even last time on the streams, I think. Hey Wes. Yeah, I'm about to pop off already. I don't think there are much more questions. So again, those who just joined, right, I cannot tell you a fixed schedule or when I'm doing the recaps. You just gotta pop on the whatever bell thing on YouTube. Yeah, and then you'll know when I am about to come on. I'll give some buffer time because I think I'm able to do like a premiere on YouTube. So yeah. So hopefully this helped everybody as to how I enter my trades. Yeah, I'll do another posting of this video probably on IGTV later on. Okay, thank you everyone for hopping on. Remember to help me hit the like button. Thanks. Right, I'll see you on the next recap when I do it. Alright, bye bye friends.